Welcome to the Association 100 podcast. The A100 podcast is an extension of our Association 100 bi-monthly newsletter that focuses on best practices, top trends, helpful ideas, and smart strategies and tactics that work in the world of associations. The podcast will feature meaningful conversations with association professionals across the country, taking a deeper dive into trending topics, offering insights that both inform and inspire.
All right, welcome back to the Association 100 podcast. I'm Onward and Upward Summer Intern, Keaveny Hewitt, and I'm joined by co-intern Grant Craig. Today, we, summer interns, are taking over the podcast to talk about what makes a great summer internship from our point of view. Let's get started. So for our first question today, what were you looking for, Grant, when you were pursuing a summer internship?
For me, when I was pursuing a summer internship, what I was looking for was I wanted something where I was going to be busy. I wasn't just going to sit around. So when I interviewed with Onward and Upward, they had a clear outline of what my role would be, which I thought was very nice to know that there was a plan with the internship program. But I also wanted something that's more hands-on, like a smaller team environment. So that was another thing I was looking for.
Yeah, kind of same for me. Yeah, sort of the same thing. I was really looking for something where I could apply, everything I was learning in college and stuff into a real world setting. And obviously kind of more than just your average, getting coffee internship. I really wanted something where I was doing work almost as kind of like a supplement for college. And I have one semester left. So really want an internship that would help kind of prepare me for those final courses and stuff and kind of help me get ready to start my career in PR.
Nice. Well, going off of that, what do you like most about the internship so far?
I like a lot about it, but I really like the variety overall. I feel like no 2 days really look or feel the same, which is nice, which is a good part about being in an agency too. Obviously we have different clients and different tasks for each client. And I also love seeing kind of the real impact of my work, which is really cool. It's a cool feeling to actually do stuff and have it be sent off to a client. So I feel like in college projects and work, it's all kind of hypothetical. It's like, if you were to send this to a client or if you were to write this. So it's been cool to actually follow through with things from, an idea or a concept from start to finish and not just kind of have it in that hypothetical stage. So I feel like I've really learned a lot throughout that process too. What about you?
I would definitely agree, especially with the unique days where we don't really have a routine of my Mondays and Fridays are pretty consistent of what I'm doing, but the days in between, it can always be something brand new, or I need to hop on a project for a quick task or something. So I really enjoy that. And I've even talked to my roommates about it, where they're now just starting off in their real world situations, but they're I just have the same routine every day. It's so boring. And I'm I don't have that. And that's one thing I enjoy. But I also would agree about our work is we see that it matters, and we're putting in hard work, and we're getting the recognition for it, which I thought was really cool, because as an intern I really didn't think I would get that. I thought I'd just be here's work, it needs to get done, but if I don't do great on it, I'm not gonna get yelled at or anything like that. But I think we've both done really well, and we've gotten the recognition that we deserve from that, which is really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. Same thing about the roommate point of view thing as well. It's been cool to come home and talk about my internship, be I did all these things and it's different every day. So I think we're very lucky to have that experience too. Yeah, so moving on, was there anything that surprised you or that you were expecting during the internship?
I mean, kind of going off the last question, just the level of responsibility that we both have coming into it. Even the first day we were making pitch phone calls for a client, we were thrown right into it, which I thought was really cool, because you didn't really have time to get nervous about it. We were already just starting to work. So I thought that was perfect, and I really like that.
Yeah, same here. I was really surprised at how much I've been able to take away from this so far, and just from the experience. And same thing, within the first day, I had already learned so much about the industry and how things work, but also about myself too, which was nice. And I learned that I really like working and trying on a bunch of different shoes and seeing, what kind of clients I like. And I like trying all these different tasks and things. So the variety aspect of it has been really surprising as well. And I feel like I'm learning beyond my field of study and beyond the PR industry as well, and getting experience, navigating client relationships, which has been really helpful too, because that is a good skill to have, no matter what industry you're working in. So I've really enjoyed that aspect as well.
Yeah, definitely. So what was the best part of the internship?
There's been a lot of great parts about it, but I would say the best part is that it really pushes me to think critically and become more observant, which has been really cool. So because I'm now seeing firsthand how pitches get sent and how work gets done, or how like the thought process is behind a campaign or a project, I'm more aware of my surroundings and like how my work actually plays a role in the world around me. And so since we are in PR, I'm now able to read the news with like an entirely new perspective, an entirely new lens. And obviously, when I'm like scrolling through Instagram, I notice things I maybe wouldn't have noticed before. And I'm watching an ad, I'm not just kind of like passively watching it. I'm watching it like with the kind of, things and takeaways I've learned from the internship. So it's been cool to sort of have this new perspective and lens kind of outside the internship as well. What about you?
For me, I think one of the best parts was just like you said, we've been pitching a lot, and then finally getting like reporters who reach back out to you and it's like, yeah, like I'll take it, and like that's one of like the
Mhm.
best feelings because like we do so much of it, but like you're not gonna get every story that you pitch in like a
Yeah.
paper or anything. But when you do, like it's like a big achievement personally for me. But then I also like how we have like the PR council certificate and like Colleen set us up with that, which I thought was really cool because I mean, this internship's like for professional development. So like to be able to do that, like was a cool opportunity. And like I feel like I learned a lot from that and also like Colleen, just like based off conversations. Like, oh, they talked about this. Like, what do you think about that? So
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, the PR Council intern like professional development course is really cool. And it was just like basically to give people background, a bunch of different videos from different PR professionals in different industries and different agency sizes, and really prepared us and gave us a lot of background on, what PR is like, and kind of I think definitely set us up for thinking about PR in a new perspective as well. And it was nice to kind of have that alongside the internship and kind of applying what we learned in those like different courses and different videos into actually, what we're pitching and different ideas we're coming up with. So I
yeah,
really
and like
liked that part.
there were a few times where like we'd like starting a new project and like the next video would be like something on that. And it's like, wow, that's like really like nice. Like that coincidence like just happened to work out and like be able to
Exactly.
learn hands on, but also like have videos to, like supplement what we're doing for our job.
I definitely think professional development has been a really integral part of this internship, which has been awesome because I wasn't expecting that from an internship. So I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that too. Next question is, the A100 listeners are association professionals. What is something you would want them to know to ensure their internship is strong?
One thing which like from like friends in college talking about their internships is like make sure like you actually need interns and interns have things to do because heard a lot of like horror stories where like someone's like, yeah, like this whole week like I didn't have anything to do. I just sat at my desk for 8 hours, like, and nobody wants to do that. And like, even people like hiring interns, they don't want to see that. So like, I mean, make sure like you have like a good outline of what interns are gonna do, so they can benefit, but also like the company as a whole can benefit from like their work. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Kind of moving off that too, I think also knowing the importance of creating a comfortable environment for your interns, because it can be kind of nerve-wracking starting an internship, and it's really important to establish a good relationship with your interns and making it clear from even before day one that they can ask questions and ask for help and ask for input, because sometimes it can be nervous kind of having that mindset or thought process of like, oh my goodness, it needs to be perfect. But there's this pressure to do everything perfectly for the first time, especially as an intern who wants to impress your employers. But the reality is that people who've been doing work for 30 years still collaborate with fellow employees and still get bosses to approve or provide feedback. So even the pros don't get it right with the first draft, which is like kind of important to keep in mind when you're creating an internship program. So really letting your interns know that things take time and require more than just one perspective, and making sure that your interns know that that kind of practice applies to them too. It's not just one try and you either did it or you didn't. It's really something that takes a process and takes kind of an entire company to support you.
Yeah, definitely. And I would also say like if you are an employer looking for interns, like and you get an intern, like provide feedback and like make it pretty obvious like what the feedback is. Like even if it's like you did really well on this, but like this section, like it could use more work and like kind of showing like what you can do. Cause like Colleen's done that with me and it's been like very helpful because like I'll think I like nailed whatever she asked me to do. And then she'll be like, oh, like I wanted it like this, but like she like clearly shows me like how it's not just like telling me. that's been really, really like beneficial because like I actually see it. And then like we also like there's more communication between us that way. So like I think it's like again like promotes like me asking questions. So
Yeah, I totally agree. It also is important to explain your feedback because I think sometimes it can be frustrating with like past internships or jobs I've had to just have someone make an edit or make a change. And then you're stuck there thinking, what did I do wrong? Why was that change made? So it's really nice that we get feedback on everything and kind of get to hear their thought process because then it helps us think that way too. And it kind of it helps us improve our work so there's, less edits to make in the future. So I totally agree.
well, similar question. What should employers know about hiring young professionals for a summer internship?
That's a really good question. I think the biggest thing to know is that young professionals are eager. I know our generation is especially excited to get out there and work. We're the ones who had the weirdest high school and college experiences, as I know you can relate to, thanks to COVID. And so we actually really want to get out there and learn and kind of absorb everything around us. Since we've been, the ones doing virtual classes and taking things online. So we actually really want to learn. In the same way, employers should know that COVID has made networking extremely hard for us and for our generation, I think, especially. So we may not have the close knit bonds with professors or employees that we might have been expected to have since we were learning and working in a virtual world. So kind of knowing that young professionals want that networking experience, which we've obviously gotten through this internship and that professional development work too, and really want help getting our name out there. I would also like to think that we are incredibly flexible because of the virtual world that we've grown up in. And so,
I would agree.
yeah, we definitely have a lot that we've had to adapt to. So really knowing that flexibility can aid in your workplace. And I think there's a lot that employers can learn from us too, because we've had to be very resilient over these past couple of years. And, obviously everyone has, but especially trying to go through college and, it's supposed to be the best 4 years of your life. And we ended up doing it on Zoom. So it's definitely, I think, something good to keep in mind to know that we really want to learn and we want to get out there and kind of make the most of this experience.
Yeah, no, I really agree with what you said. I think we are eager to learn and like get out there in the workforce and all that, but like we have had a different approach, like being on Zoom. Like I would say we are more flexible, which I think in like nowadays, like you definitely need to be more flexible. Like we were saying, like no day is like a routine day. Like everything's just like brand new each day. So the more flexible you are, like the better like opportunity there is. And like I think as like young professionals, like we've definitely had to like uphold that standard.
Yeah, I definitely think that there's kind of something we can bring to the table with having that unique experience, as like a generation of virtual college students and things like that. So definitely some things that or that employers could take away from this, hopefully. Last question. What should employers think about when putting together a summer internship program?
That's a good question. There's a consistent person like reach out and be able to ask questions and like you're comfortable with. And then also I would say is just like I've said multiple times, like make sure there's like work to do and like it's easily outlined and obvious of what they're going to be doing. So there aren't like expectations like from either side that don't seem realistic or are not seen at all.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that too about kind of making sure that both sides are on the same page. I feel like otherwise, if you're not, it kind of can lead to some, confusion for both people as well. I would also like to add that I think so much of the focus is about what your interns can offer you. All the questions and all the applications are like, what classes do you take? What was your previous experience? But I think it's also important for employers to think about what they can offer their interns, because that is also the point of an internship. It's a two-way street. It's not just one-sided. It's not just us doing work for them. They're also, providing a lot of experience for us and teaching us and being mentors. How can you help your interns through professional development or by providing certain resources? Because every job and internship is a learning experience, no matter how long you've been in your industry. So I think it's important to really create a program that can help like mold and support the next generation of professionals in your field. And with that too, I think it's important to put yourself in, intern shoes and think about what you did and didn't like about your internships or first jobs. I think reflection is really key in crafting a strong internship program because it's great to reflect on, your experience and what you had in your internships in the past to make it the absolute strongest internship program it can be.
Yeah, and I definitely think that's something that we benefited from at like Onward and Upward with like Colleen, like looking back on her like internship experiences and like how like she didn't have the best time or didn't really have much to do. And like she kind of like wanted it to be like the exact opposite for us, where it's like here, I'll give you a lot, and if you like need me to cut back on it, like we'll do that. But I'd rather prefer like having way more on my plate than having nothing, because like
Exactly.
you get to learn like time management, like, but you're also like get to dip like your feet in all different kinds of projects, which is like super fun. You learn a lot, and like I mean, for me, like that's what I wanted out of the internship. I just wanted to learn, like just get in and just figure it out and like see what I like, what I don't like. But like that's definitely something I think we benefited from.
Yeah, I totally agree. Again, we are just like, I think our generation especially is so eager to get out there. So it's important to give us the work because there's no point in hiring interns if you don't have a lot to give them. But I think there's definitely that a lot that we can provide companies too.
Okay, so well, the podcast usually closes with a fun lightning round of questions. So let's get started. Keaveny, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina, and my family moved to Asheville, North Carolina after high school. And I'm currently here right now. What about you?
So I grew up in Wilmington, Delaware, went all the way through high school, and then for college, I moved down to Fredericksburg, where I went to the University of Mary Washington, and now I'm in Reston, Virginia. So got out of Delaware.
Awesome. Yeah, I got out of North Carolina too. So I'm in DC as well. So definitely nice to be in a bigger city.
Yep. Well, for me especially, it's a lot bigger. If you won the lottery tomorrow, would you still pursue this work?
I would say yes. PR really makes me tick and is something that I'm like really passionate about. Of course, if I did win the lottery, I would, be showing up to the office in designer clothing and would no longer maybe pack my lunch every day. I would probably be coming in Starbucks every morning. But I would really miss that sense of purpose that this kind of work gives me if I didn't pursue it anymore. So I think I would definitely continue. What about you?
I would say yes, but probably for a different reason. I remember growing up, my mom's like, if we ever win the lottery, like you have to show up to work because you don't want people to know you won the lottery. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So if I won the lottery, I would be showing up to work. I mean, maybe it'd be a little more flexible, like a few days in the office, a few days not. I could get behind that, but I would still work. Yes.
Awesome.
Keating, what is your favorite movie or TV show?
I'm a huge fan of The Office, which I know is a very basic answer, but I have
The
watched it
classic.
over 10 times through. So it is definitely I'm a big fan. I can probably quote every episode. What about you?
For me, I would say my favorite TV show right now, because I just finished it, was season 4 of Stranger Things.
I still need to
Uh,
watch that. I've heard it's very scary.
it's very good. I highly recommend it. I was skeptical of watching it because it took forever because of COVID to come out, and I was like kind
Yeah.
of like I'm over like the whole sci-fi like kick that I was in, and then a bunch of my friends were like, "No, you have to watch it. It's super good." So I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I definitely need to watch it. It's been funny to see all the like 80s songs and stuff like hit the
Yep,
top 40 charts again just because of Stranger Things. So that's been pretty cool to see.
yep. All right. Next question: dogs or cats? There better be one answer to this.
I'm allergic to cats, so the answer is
Okay,
dogs.
there we go. Okay. I'm dogs all the way. Do you have any dogs?
I have two, Louie and Gus. What about you? Oh
I have four.
my
Well, my
gosh.
my parents have four. I want to get a dog, but I
Yeah,
don't
my
know. I don't.
parents have two, so I have them for whenever I'm home.
Yeah, but growing up, I always had four dogs at a time. So big dog family. I've had one cat, and I was not a fan of it.
Yeah, I'm not a big cat person.
Okay, this is a good question. What's something you miss from pre-pandemic days?
A lot of things, but I really miss going out and doing stuff and not having the fear of COVID kind of like weigh over me. Because, I've been to concerts and things, since the vaccine and since things have lightened up, but I can't fully enjoy it. I feel like I'm there in a crowd and I'm like, okay, I'm subconsciously wondering if I've just caught COVID by
Yeah.
being here. So I think I kind of miss the not having the fear of, getting sick. What about you?
For me, I definitely agree with that. And just like, not that I'm worried I'm gonna like get it from like going to a concert, but then like afterwards, you wake up the next day, it's like, oh, like I feel like a little off. Like, do I have COVID? And like that, it just sucks having to like think about that. But for me, the one thing I guess I miss, which it's coming back, but the movie theaters. I used to go to the movie theaters like once a week. Now I haven't since COVID. I haven't gone.
Yeah,
at all, because it's just like everything's on your TV now. And I think I prefer that more just because it's more convenient. And plus, I'm not spending so much money on like popcorn and candy that's like way
exactly.
overpriced, but they're
I
going to
feel like
get me
movie
every
tickets have
time.
gotten so expensive too. I feel like
Yeah.
they've gotten like crazy expensive. But yeah, I definitely
I
miss the
mean,
movies too. It's also hard
but
because every symptom is a symptom of COVID. So it's like you
yeah,
have a runny nose, COVID. You're
yeah.
nauseous, COVID. So I
But
feel like that's also hard.
yeah, maybe I'll go to the movie theaters. I haven't been in a while, so we'll see. Well, that concludes the summer intern podcast takeover. Thanks for listening. Now we have to go get back to work.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Association 100 podcast, brought to you by the A100 publishing team, powered by Onward and Upward Marketing and Communications. You can subscribe to the Association 100 podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all of your favorite podcast listening apps so you'll never miss out. Or listen via our website at theassociation100.com. Follow us on Twitter at Association100. That's Association100 for all the latest insights and trends impacting the world of associations. Thanks for tuning in.